everybody? All those that haven't shown up yet? Just, yeah, nobody had, like, everybody had, like, 10 minutes warning. So, I only gave 10 minutes warning. Sorry. I wasn't entirely sure whether going to or not. So, so how are y'all? I am still in a. What do you mean now? What? Just be able to sit and chat with people because, like, I wanted to wrap up the news thing, so the news thing wasn't too long, and then like do a stream where people can just chat. So. Hi, Slasher. Hi, Redguard. We finally made it back. This couch, it's like, I think I need to put like a board or something under it because it just kind of sinks too much. Like, I feel like I'm kind of sinking down in this. Although it like, I put my arm just right, yeah. Yeah. I mean, meow, meow, meow to you as well. Oh, darn it! I think I left my cigarette in the room. I'm sorry. Shit, I'll be. Is that the Bungie's living room is back? As a matter of fact, it is. I think you got my arm moved. There we go. Now it's half believable. Okay. So yeah. I did one of my newscasts or one of my streams that started out that way. I even had the hand in the pants. Anyway, I need to go figure out where to put my stupid cigarettes. I think I left them on the table. I'll be right back. I hate when it statics up when I'm not there. See, look at that shit. Okay. Anywho. Love and marriage, love and marriage, pull together like a horse and carriage. Sorry. I should not make your old ears bleed. I'm sorry. Man, like, I can't seem to find the right lighting because it's making my shit static though. Like, eh. Yeah, and then it looks kind of frumpy at this angle. It's like, damn it. I've been fighting with the lighting for like a little while today. I don't know why I keep getting these fucking text messages. They're always from a different number and it says it has a media file for me to open. I'm not falling for that. That's exactly his couch in TV history. Probably so, but iconic nonetheless. But yes, it is a viciously ugly couch. It definitely is. But years of humorous shit happened with this couch in the background. Green screen rules. It does when it's not making me look staticky in the armpit area. I was fighting with it. I was trying to decide if I needed 2 lamps, 1 lamp. I need like just like a straight up light bar that goes across. God, I look like I'm way kind of. I gotta sit upright. Like that is not working. But, like, see, that's not working either for me. Like I don't know. Where is it? Call the shadow. Like I'm sitting here trying to figure out like how this is happening. So I'll sit like this, I guess. Damn it. I'm having a hard time. I'm having first world problems, and I'm sorry. So how are you doing, Mickey Nixon Films? Ooh, Mickey Nixon Films. That sounds fun. What kind of films do you make? That sounds awesome because I think I added you a long time ago and I forgot. To be fair, like I think a lot of people add me and then they forget because 1,100 people do not show up in this chat ever. Oh my god, that would be way too much. Thank God they don't. Actually, that would be way too much for me. So how are you doing, Boonda? And hello, Philip there. You can probably say hello to y'all. uncle again. One more. I'm hoping Optic Razor will come back because he and I were. I keep thinking it's a she because the avatar is like a woman, and so it throws me off. So yeah, I assume somebody's gender. My bad. But don't let anything distract you from the fact that Al Bundy scored 4 touchdowns. Yes, never forget that. Yes, there should be a commemorative coin with that. Like it totally should. Like on one side, it's him really like the like, touchdown area, and on the other side it's him on the couch with like his hand in his pants. Hey, what's up? Love your Al Bundy background. Well, thank you, Joey. How are you? Bundy for life. I would just poke high school, right? Yeah, I would totally die if somebody actually got like hashtag Bundy for life tattooed on them, like on a butt cheek or something. Can you imagine? Sheltering. Well, I do not know what that means. Thank you for streaming. Just that's the only way I really interact with people, new or otherwise. I don't do well out in person. I'm like not really expecting to just walk up and start saying hi to people. Draven, hey darling, how are you? I hope you're doing good. I'm still waiting to hear about Mickey Nixon films. Like, I am hard to catch Corona through live stream. Oh, I was antisocial before Corona. I was social distancing before it was cool. Back in my day, this was just being antisocial and having like social anxiety and phobias. Now I'm trendy as fuck. And I never liked the idea of those like facial recognition cameras. Now you're expected to walk around covering your face. Oh, yeah. Although I am against government overreach and forcing people. That I'm against. I've noticed that for the most part, oftentimes if people are just given the option to do it, they'll do what they feel is right. You know what I'm saying? Like like I don't wear a mask in the car because unless your car is really nasty and you got a shit ton of people, there is no reason to wear your mask in the car. I'm sorry if that strikes a nerve for somebody's audience, but I feel like somebody had to hear that because yeah, that or you walk Well, that was fucking stupid. Shit. My stupid internet likes to cut out every once in a while. And sometimes it likes... sorry, I'm kidding. And sometimes it likes to do it right in the middle of something. It's like rolling blackouts for internet. I don't know how much we're paying for internet. You're not supposed to say the secret word. You broke the rules. What secret word? Is a duck gonna come down from that be the word of the day? What fucking word did I say? You're telling me to give up? No, Shadow Gamer. No. Dragging me kicking and screaming. Anyway, great. Lost like almost half the people. Shit. I told everybody stand by. I'm back. Oh, duh. Yes. I'm still pissed about yesterday. Never. Exactly. Never. Anywho, I should say penguin. Penguin kitties? What? What the shit? I don't think they have those. See, now you got me wondering. Anywho, we're singing. Oh God! Oh, you don't want to hear me sing. It's bad. Hell, YouTube watches my channel so closely. Like, I think they got me kind of flagged or something to where, like, if I go live, they watch me really close. Which is stupid because I'm not even a big channel. Like, it's so dumb. But just don't threaten to peg anybody. I hope they don't make me have to threaten them. And what Slasher is referring to is a video clip, a 37-second video clip I posted on Twitter, tagging the YouTube team in it, basically telling them that I was going to forcibly sodomize, if I had the opportunity, I would buy a toy and sodomize each one of them for doing the stupid shit they do to YouTubers. That's the nicer way of how that video went. How I didn't get banned from Twitter is beyond me. I do not know. Or banned from YouTube for that video. Because I even threatened, or I even dared, like, ban me, bitch. Like, it's pretty bad. Like, yeah, that is, like, if we have, like, picture frames where it can move, you should just have that in a picture frame. Someone might make a meme or a gif out of it, I don't know. But. Oh, never gonna let you down. Okay, gotcha. Tell me about not realizing, like, quite what was happening. So, like, it was, like, 2 or 3 words in each line, and I probably would have caught on a little quicker. Yeah, Slasher was surprised. A couple of people were kind of surprised they never heard me talk like this in the video clip. But at that point, it was like, fucking fight me, bitch! You know, I was pretty pissed. I got my stream cut, and they said it was either copyright material or there was like a kid in there, or whatever. And I'm like, well, maybe you shouldn't have copyrighted material on your fucking platform if you're gonna be mad that I use it. And what it was a clip from a 1940s movie, and it was a speech that I was playing, and like they like lost their shit. So. And they bitch about copyrighted material all the time, and they chew everybody's ass. Like if I try to do karaoke or something, they'd hear like 3 parts of the instrumental, and they'd probably just cut my stream. They probably would, even though they let other people do it. But they have a section on YouTube called Free Movies. YouTube Free Movies. And I actually tried to screenshot it, and when I tried to, it said cannot be done for security reasons. And I was like, Really? So I used my other phone and took a picture of it, put it on Twitter, tagged the film companies that these movies belong to, at least some of them, tagged YouTube in it, and I'm like, "Hello, How to Garden, how are you?" And I basically like, "Hey, Lionsgate and MGM." I think YouTube is letting everybody see free movies, and you know, I don't know if that bothers you or not. And that's like YouTube, you give people so much shit for copyright material, yet you have copyright material on your platform. So, like, hopefully they get at least some ass chewing, or leave me alone. Either is optional. Never gonna run around and desert you. Y'all are just cute. I'm happy to actually play the video for y'all, but also I don't know if you'd like me anymore after it. Their rules are mad inconsistent. Yeah, exactly. And see, and this is what's stupid is they have like this little disclaimer that like they can pretty much do whatever they want, and if something goes wrong, then they just blame COVID and their employees not being there or whatever, and that's such shit. Okay, they can work from anywhere. There are a plenty. Yeah, no, like don't blame COVID because you're fucking stupid. No, no, no. Hey Kai, how are you, darling? But yeah, yeah, I was a little less than ladylike in that video. But I stand by it. I didn't take it down. I totally stand by it. Like I think they just muted the conversation because they just like YouTube just stopped responding to me on Twitter. Like they had just had enough, and they just I think they just muted my conversation with them because it really wasn't a conversation. It was like a bar fight every time I opened my mouth. So how are you, Kai? And how is See, I kind of, I don't know. I'm just afraid that like if I start showing pictures or looking at old time commercials or whatever, like I'm gonna get in trouble for that now. Like I feel like it's kind of closing in on me, and I'm not sure what I'll get in trouble for next. Like, this is really fucking annoying. It really is. I don't know. I want to stream, but I'm sitting there like trying to think. You guys are seriously. I thought user complaint went to Michael Scott's special filing cabinet. Who the hell is Michael Scott? I'm trying to get motivated to exercise, so I'm smoking a bowl. Whatever works for you. And I have zero motivation. Like I need to exercise, but like I would walk, but it's like so fucking hot outside. You just want to die. I am apparently too lazy to use the Bowflex in the living room. So yeah, I need to get motivated. Oh, Michael Scott from The Office. I have not watched that show. I've seen memes and stuff of it, I think, but I haven't actually watched the show. The closest thing to that I've watched was Parks and Recreations, which was like kind of a slow start. It was kind of okay, and then it had funny moments. And it was kind of on and off. So like I could take it or leave it. They're still singing that song in the freaking chat. Color cute. I don't know. I'm getting rickrolled on my freaking string here. Awesome. Well, let's see what stuff YouTube has today that they might or might not get upset about because damn. And like they had emailed me and saying that like they deleted my video, but it wouldn't be held against me. It wouldn't be a strike on my channel. So I wrote something along the lines of, "Listen up, motherfuckers. You probably should be paying attention to Twitter because I'm calling you out on your shit over there, instead of emailing me, this and that." And like I send it to them, and then they send me an email back going, we looked over your appeal and we're gonna have to stand by our. I'm like, I didn't appeal shit. I was cussing you out. Like, know the difference, fuckers. Like, I don't know. I've been thinking about. I mean, I have an account with BitChute, but I haven't done anything with it. I uploaded some of my videos from here to my computer, so if they ever decided to fucking cut me down, like I could put them up over there. But I don't know if you can live stream from it. I've heard that's not possible yet. I'm told, but I don't know if anything's updated on that. Oh, excuse me. Ooh. Well, there is some interesting like history videos, like bizarre facts and stuff about history. That could be kind of fun to watch. Never gonna say goodbye. Ah, ah, ah. I love Parks and Rec. I think it was all better than The Office. The Office was amazing until Michael Scott left. I don't know why I'm finding this so strangely entertaining, but I do. I don't know why. Y'all are cute. That's all I can say. So, maybe we can watch some like weird history facts stuff. I don't know. Maybe they won't shut me down. I don't know. It's really hard to say because like I don't think it's copywritten stuff. I mean, it shouldn't be. I
Edgar
don't know.
Allan Poe's name is practically synonymous with the macabre. His poem, The Raven, is a classic of the horror genre, and his story, The Murders in the Rue Morgue, which predates the first appearance of Sherlock Holmes by almost 50 years, essentially invented the trope of the analytical detective. In spite of this creative success, the circumstances of Poe's life were often bizarre and tragic. He was a textbook example of a starving artist who
Weirdly
lived
enough,
for
I
his
had
art,
a
drank
Funko
heavily,
Pop
and
that,
died
of
young.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Today, we're going to take a look at some bizarre facts about the tragic life of Edgar Allan Poe. But
If they
before
cut
we
my
get started,
stream,
be
I'll
sure to subscribe
apologize.
to the Weird History channel, and be sure to let us know in the comments below what historic writers you would like to hear more about. Okay? So,
Once upon a midnight dreary.
Edgar Allan
Y'all
Poe was
still at
born in
it too in
Boston
the
on
chat.
January 19, 1809. At the time, his parents, David and Eliza Poe, were stage actors, and their profession required them to be constantly touring up and down America's East Coast. It was a relatively transient lifestyle that wasn't terribly well suited to raising a family. So in the summer of that year, the family, which included Edgar's older brother Henry, moved to New York City. This new arrangement didn't last long. 6 weeks after the move, Poe's father, who was an alcoholic, abandoned his family. Forced to support the kids on her own, Eliza moved them all to Richmond, Virginia, where she hoped to find work in the theater. In December of 1810, she gave birth to a daughter, Rosalie, but sadly, mother and child wouldn't have much time together. Eliza contracted tuberculosis and died on December 8, 1811. By an eerie coincidence, approximately 3 days later in Norfolk, Virginia, Poe's father also passed away. Edgar was only 2. With no parents left to assume custody, the Poe children were split up. Henry was sent to Baltimore to live with their grandparents, while Edgar and Rosalie were each adopted by different families in Richmond. While many believe that Allan is Poe's middle name, that's not really the case. Allan is actually the surname of John and Frances Allan, the couple that adopted Edgar in Richmond. John Allan was a relatively successful merchant who didn't have much in the way of a formal education. He did, however, have a great deal of personal wealth, which he acquired the old-fashioned way. He inherited it. Despite this, he considered himself a self-made man. Whatever the case, John didn't have much of a relationship with his ward. He felt Edgar was ungrateful for everything the Allans had done for him, and he believed the boy didn't have even a spark of affection for him. By the time Poe enrolled at the University of Virginia, his relationship with his adoptive parents had become outright hostile. John refused to provide Edgar with the money he needed to make it through the semester. Quickly running out of funds, Edgar tried to make up the difference by gambling. You can probably guess how well that went. Long story short, Poe wound up thousands of dollars in debt. It all caught up with him when his creditors finally approached John Allen himself for payment. Allen refused to pay and instead pulled Edgar, then only in his second semester, out of the college. John demanded that Edgar take a job for no pay at his trading firm, but Edgar wasn't having it. Instead, he left home and headed to Boston to follow his dream of becoming a poet. However, in what would become a trademark of many of the endeavors of his life, his plan was both underdeveloped and underfunded.
That's weird.
At the age of 18, he spent most of his money self-publishing a pamphlet of poetry called Tamerlane and Other Stories. While the few remaining copies of this pamphlet are priceless today, it was not successful at the time. In fact, it sold so poorly that there was a time that historians didn't believe it actually existed. With no practical skills or marketable education to fall back on, Poe quickly ran out of options. Finally, in May of 1827, out of pure desperation, he enlisted in the army. To prevent his creditors from finding him, he enrolled under the alias Edgar A. Perry. Edgar A. Perry turned out to be a pretty good soldier. His reputation was for being reliable, competent, and adept at bureaucratic record-keeping. As such, he quickly rose to the rank of sergeant major. In his time with the Army, Poe served at 3 separate places, including Fort Moultrie, South Carolina. This location would later serve as the setting for the work that launched Poe's career, a short story called The Gold Bug. Poe found some success in the Army, but with 3 years still left on his 5-year commitment, he grew bored. He asked his commanding officer for permission to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, but the officer refused to sign off on the request unless Poe reconciled with adoptive father John Allen. Allen at first refused. However, after the death of Francis Allen in 1829, John changed his mind and grudgingly helped Poe get into West Point. Edgar's time at West Point officially began on July 1st, 1830, and ended with a court-martial 8 months later on February 8th, 1831. While an urban legend holds that Poe was kicked out for attending a class in the nude, the truth is less amusing. The young cadet had grown unhappy at the school and deliberately attempted to get expelled. Officially, he was convicted of dereliction of duty. Leaving the Army to attend West Point required finding someone to serve out the rest of Poe's enlistment. That someone turned out to be Sergeant Samuel Graves, who agreed to finish the commitment for a fee which Poe agreed to pay. However, when it came time to settle up, Poe didn't have the money. In a letter to Graves, Edgar suggested he would try to get the funds from John Allen, but that it would take some time because Allen was a notorious drunk. Running out of patience, Graves talked to John Allen himself and showed him the letter. Enraged, Allen paid the debt and then refused to speak to Edgar again for the rest of his life. Even on his deathbed, Allen refused to meet with Poe and threatened to beat him with a cane if he didn't leave.
Yeah.
After West Point, Poe headed to Baltimore, where he moved in with his aunt, Maria Clem, who was the sister of Edgar's deceased father, David. Also living in the house was Maria's mother, Elizabeth, and Maria's children, Henry and Virginia. The family struggled financially, but did manage to keep a roof over their heads thanks to a pension Elizabeth received from the government. Maria, for her part, was very supportive of Poe's literary dreams. In 1835, Elizabeth and Henry both died, and Poe left Baltimore for a job at the Southern Literary Messenger in Richmond. A year later, when he was financially able, he sent for Maria and Virginia, who left Baltimore. On May 16, 1836, Edgar Allan Poe married 13-year-old Virginia,
He does
his
not look
first cousin.
13.
The exact nature of their relationship and whether this marriage was ever consummated is unknown and has been widely debated by historians for generations. Like his father, Poe was an alcoholic, and he was notorious for his binge drinking during his short time at college. The problem was so severe that T.H. White, the editor who hired Poe at the Southern Literary Messenger, had to quickly fire him for drinking so much. White, who recognized Poe's talent when sober, eventually agreed to rehire him in October of 1836. His employment was contingent on Poe maintaining sobriety. He was gone by January of 1837. In 1839, a friend of Poe named Thomas English Dunn spotted the writer drinking in the streets of New York. He described Poe as struggling in a vain attempt to raise himself from the gutter. When the men ran into each other again 3 days later, Dunn said Poe was heartily ashamed and told him that it would never happen again. Unfortunately, that wouldn't be the case. Poe's drinking would become more and more severe over the course of his life and likely played a role in his mysterious death. In January of 1845, Edgar Allan Poe published a narrative poem called The Raven. The story was about a man, despondent over a lost love, being confronted by a mysterious and possibly imaginary creature. While Poe had already developed a solid reputation as a literary critic, he only had moderate success as a fiction writer. The Raven changed all that. It was wildly successful, and it made Poe famous throughout the world. The poem was widely reprinted and led to the publication of 2 separate volumes of Poe's poetry and prose. He was invited to the most exclusive clubs New York high society had to offer, and children would follow him through the streets chanting, "Nevermore." However, you can't pay rent with fame. Records show Poe made somewhere between $9 and $15 for writing the poem. Newly published editions earned him another $120 in royalties, but since he had taken a $135 advance, he never got any of it. The next year was hard. Poe gave mediocre performances on the paid lecture circuit, made unpopular attacks on establishment figures like Emerson and Longfellow, and was caught up in a scandal involving a married woman. The career momentum he had built on The Raven petered out. In May of 1846, Poe, his wife Virginia, and his mother-in-law Maria moved to a rural cottage in the Bronx. Located 14 miles outside of central Manhattan, it was the equivalent of living in literary exile. Even worse was that Virginia had come down with tuberculosis. She died January 30th, 1847. On her deathbed, Virginia made her mother promise to look after Eddie for the rest of his life. Maria would keep that promise. After Virginia's death, Poe became determined to marry his way out of poverty. He spent months exchanging letters with a widowed poet named Sarah Helen Whitman, and then in September of 1848, he showed up at her house, unannounced, to propose marriage. She declined, and Poe returned home, only to try again a month later. After that, he headed to Lowell, Massachusetts, to see another potential love interest named Annie Richmond. However, she was already married. He tried with Sarah Whitman again in November and December, and he eventually got her to agree to a Christmas Day wedding. However, Sarah's mother was wary of Poe's drinking, and she made legal arrangements to ensure he would never get a share in the family's estate. Perhaps as a result, the relationship ended before the wedding. Lucky for Sarah, too. She didn't know it, but at the time, Poe was also putting the moves on an entirely different Sarah. Sarah Royster Shelton was one of Edgar's childhood sweethearts. Poe proposed to her as well, and despite a clause in her husband's will requiring her to forfeit 3/4 of his estate if she remarried, she told him she would think about it. She never reached a decision. On October 7th, 1849, Edgar Allan Poe died. Sarah found out about his passing when she read about it in a newspaper. On September 27th, 1849, Poe boarded a steamboat bound for New York City. Though he had sworn to his prospective fiancée, Sarah Royster Shelton, that he wouldn't drink, it is believed that he broke this vow when the ship stopped in Baltimore on September 28th. Many of the facts have been lost to history. However, we know that on October 3rd, a man named Joseph Walker sent a letter to an acquaintance of Poe named Joseph Snodgrass. The letter reported that Poe had been found in a Baltimore gutter, incoherent and in need of help. Snodgrass located Poe and immediately checked him into a hospital. The writer remained incoherent and was never able to explain what happened to him. 4 days later, Poe died. His cause of death remains unknown and has been subject to rampant speculation, ranging from a case of rabies to an attack by the brothers of a woman he was courting. Some might say it's ironic, but fitting, that the inventor of the modern detective story should leave behind such a tantalizing mystery with his own bizarre life and death. So which of these facts surprised you about Poe, and what is your favorite Poe story? Let us know in the comments below, and while you're at it, check out some of these other videos from our Weird History.
So what do y'all think? Oh, you can see like half of me. Like, what the fuck? There we go. Anyway. You think that was interesting? Want to see like another kind of weird, sort of half-assed short documentary? I can't believe you're still singing that song. Holy shit. It'd probably go much quicker if you do like 2 or 3 words at a time. Ah, Slash is like, yeah, he lived here. I see. Yeah, he was depressed, but he was also kind of a player, apparently. Like, nobody's really responding if they like these documentary type things or not. Okay, he says sure. Because the guys, otherwise, the guys are just kind of playing a song game in the chat. It'll be the 7 theories about the mysterious vanishing of Roanoke Colony. That seems kind of cool, I think. So let's put that screen share. Hey, Happy Dinosaur, we are checking out like kind of short documentary type thing. I think it's kind of
In 1587, Sir Walter Raleigh financed the establishment of a British colony on Roanoke Island, just off the coast of North Carolina. One settler he tasked with this mission was John White, an artist and mapmaker for the expedition. They landed in July, the 115 colonists quickly making themselves at home. While there, White's daughter, Eleanor Dare, gave birth to the first English child born in the Americas. Overall, the journey seemed like a success. But when White sailed back to England for supplies, his return sparked one of the oldest unsolved mysteries in the United States. For at some point in the 3 years he was away, the entire colony completely vanished. The only clue? 2 words. Croatoan, the name of a local island found carved onto a post, and Crow etched into a tree. So what does this all mean? And where did the lost people of Roanoke go? Many theories have emerged over the years, some perfectly logical, while others downright insane. Guess which ones we're going to start with. Today we're going to explore the many theories about the mysterious vanishing of Roanoke Colony. But before we get started, subscribe to Weird History below and leave us a comment. Now, let's get to it. If you push aside the moral dilemma, cannibalism is probably one of the most convenient forms of murder. Not only do you get a free meal, but leave very little incriminating evidence behind as well. It wouldn't be surprising that these early settlers would leave no trace if they met such a fate at the hands of the native tribes. For many of these cultures, bones were often ground up and used for healing remedies, something that could have easily been done in the 3 years that White was gone. That said, there's no convincing evidence that the tribes around North Carolina practiced cannibalism, but there's always the possibility that Roanoke simply went the way of Jamestown and did the deed themselves. This could be further corroborated by reports from Native American tribes claiming to witness an internal conflict among the colonists, as well as archaeologists theorizing that a possible plague inflicting the settlers. Such an illness could have caused anything from paranoia to complete insanity among those affected, causing a highly volatile situation leading to their demise. And finally, we couldn't have a conversation about cannibalism and disease without bringing up the possibility of an aggressive zombie virus, something that, if happened, would certainly explain the lack of human remains when White returned. It's clear that the etched word Croatoan somehow relates to the neighboring island near Roanoke. However, the word itself has amazingly coincided with other major disappearances and deaths over the years. In 1888, the infamous stagecoach robber Black Bart supposedly carved the word into his jail wall right before he was released and never seen again. Later, the horror author Ambrose Bierce wrote the same word into his bedpost before vanishing in Mexico in 1913. It was one of the final words in the logbook of the ghost ship Carol A. Deering, which ran aground Sans Crew in 1921. Where did it hit? Cape Hatteras, not far from what was once known as Croatoan Island. Amelia Earhart reportedly scribbled the word in her journal before her disappearance in 1937. It's even connected to the death of Edgar Allan Poe. After disappearing on a trip to Pennsylvania, the famed author was found nearly unconscious in the gutters of Baltimore, Maryland. Of the many words allegedly babbled on his deathbed, one specific one stands out: Croatoan. To this day, Poe's cause of death remains a mystery. And sure, you can credit that to less than modern medical practices of the time. Or you can believe that the Gothic artist somehow met the same mysterious fate as the lost colony before him. We know which one he'd clearly prefer. If films and TV have taught us anything, it's that the 15 and 1600 settlers were perpetually battling with the Dark Lord in the form of either a smooth-talking goat or a trio of charismatic time-traveling witches. North Carolina was no different, as many natives told tales of a sorceress stalking the nearby woods. Could this dark magic be what sealed the fate of the people of Roanoke? Well, if you want to get realistic about it, it's far more probable that either the settlers themselves or the surrounding natives became accused of such witchcraft, leading to a conflict resulting in their eventual demise. According to historians, the tribes in and around the Croatoan Islands not only believed in witches, but would often condemn outsiders to death. Is it possible that they interpreted a spreading disease as the work of the devil? It's either that, or they all danced themselves to death while enchanted by the lyrics of Screamin' Jay Hawkins. Aside from witchcraft, the indigenous people of Roanoke had plenty of folklore explaining dangers that could and perhaps did befall the colony. For starters, the tribe believed in greater spirits that manifested in the form of elements, one of which took the form of a reptile. Coincidentally, the natives reported strange phenomenon occurring at the same time as the Roanoke vanishing, such as the sudden death of birds and other wildlife. It was one tribal belief that this reptilian devil attached itself to humans, causing them to take on demonic traits and wipe each other out while cursing the entire region. Another similar lore involves a spirit who, if angered, will literally absorb the offenders into the surrounding woods. So perhaps the people of Roanoke never left, but rather became part of the land in the form of trees. Most likely these ideas were laughed off as superstition, but that didn't stop poet Sally Southall Cotton from creating her own tall tale in 1901. Titled The White Doe, The Fate of Virginia Dare, Cotton imagined a world where John White's granddaughter was taken in by a local tribe and renamed Winona Ska. After being lovingly raised, Virginia would meet a sinister fate by the hands of an evil witch doctor. The poem describes a fit of jealousy turning the now tribeswoman into a white doe. While the story is presented as fiction, many people have claimed to witness a pale deer roaming around the area. One simple explanation for the Roanoke disappearance has to do with the fact that England and Spain were at war during the time of the colony. Among other things, this conflict had to do with the colonization of the Americas. Since there were Spanish troops stationed in Florida at the time, it's entirely possible that they took a trip to the north to eradicate their rivals. But that's not the only political explanation for the event. An anthropologist named Lee Miller believes that the colonists were secretly part of a plot by Sir Francis Walsingham, the Secretary of State under Queen Elizabeth I. In her book, Roanoke, Solving the Mystery of the Lost Colony, Lee theorizes that the colonists were intentionally stranded in order to sabotage Sir Walter Raleigh, who funded the entire expedition and was granted a royal patent for all the land he would settle. Despite the actual fate of the settlers, this kind of top-secret double-cross would certainly explain why there were no records of the disappearance, as that information would be kept hidden from the crown. We know it's not the most glamorous of theories, but there's nothing to dispute the idea that the Roanoke colony simply packed up and left the area. One belief is that the people grew tired of waiting for John White to return with his supplies, and instead attempted to sail back to England on their own. However, historians believe that the colonists didn't have a ship large enough to carry them all, making this theory highly unlikely. And while there is no physical evidence of a shipwreck, one substantial piece of proof did support the theory that the colonists simply moved on. Called the Dare Stones, a series of engraved rocks were gradually uncovered between the years of 1937 to 1941, the first of which was found along the Carolina coast and believed to be written by Eleanor Dare herself. According to this stone, the colonists decided to move farther away from the ocean after White embarked for England, eventually succumbing to illness and violent encounters with native tribes. While a good deal of these stones eventually turned out to be fake, the initial one describing these events has not been debunked, making this one of the more realistic possibilities. Along with simply moving to a new area, it's also likely that the people of Roanoke were conquered by neighboring parties in the process. The best evidence of this theory is the carved word Croatoan, the last message of the colony, which, along with being an island just south of Roanoke, also happens to be the name of a tribe who lived on that island. Considering that the settlers had a good relationship with the Croatoan people, it's not wild to speculate that they moved to the island and were absorbed into their group, or another inland tribe such as the Chowanoks or Wet'miaks. Personal accounts also support this theory, as many reported seeing European-made goods in the area not long after the disappearance. One chart of the surrounding area in 1607 describes 4 men clothed that came from Roanoke, living with the Iroquois. Others claim to see stone houses at the native settlements of Pekarekinik and Ochinohoan. Even contemporary archaeologists have found such evidence, including a gold signet ring, the partial remains of a sword, and slate and pencil matching that belonging to Roanoke colonists. Then there's the less than friendly possibility that the colonists were conquered rather than lovingly welcomed. One such account coming from Jamestown Secretary William Strachey, who reported seeing tribes with European slaves being forced to beat copper. According to Strachey, when they further investigated this discovery in 1607, the Native American chief Powhatan confessed to Jamestown leader John Smith that his people, in fact, murdered the Roanoke colony for aligning with a rival tribe. While that sounds pretty conclusive, the story remains highly disputed by historians on account of it coming from the single source of William Strachey, John Smith himself never mentioning it in his own writings. No matter which account you believe, it certainly seems the most likely possibility that the people of Roanoke either traveled with or were taken over by the native people. Well, maybe the second is most likely. What do you think happened to the people of Roanoke Colony? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, check out some of these other videos from our weird history.
All staticky again. I hate that. How you hate it when they're all staticky? Still can't believe y'all are still singing this song. This is the longest I've ever seen a song last. You've literally made a song longer than In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. So, what did y'all think? Was it kind of a half-ass okay documentary? I kind of like documentaries like that, where it's like kind of slow and kind of gives you the Cliff Notes version of it. Y'all just gonna just sing the dang song. Gosh, you think it's all static. God, it's actually getting worse, weirdly. Hearing fix it. I don't know why it's getting worse. It's actually kind of odd. I think that's as good as it gets. Oh, you love documentaries? Cool. Okay, well, you'll probably find more like that. So I think there's a whole bunch of like little documentary shows like that that I've found. My eyelashes are bugging me. Sorry. So next time I can try to have them like all lined up so we can watch them. Because otherwise I'll have to like go dig for them. And we've been on for almost an hour, so I don't want to like use up all my time. You know, eventually I will, but I'm feeling kind of okay with it though, thanks to Slasher helping me. He shared a lot of his StreamYard's time with me, so I would survive I like documentaries. Oh, I'm glad. And finally, y'all stopped singing songs for a second. Oh, never mind. My bad. I'm so fucking tired. Oh my god. I only had like an hour or so of sleep. I wasn't even sure I wanted to get up and do the friggin', especially true crime documentaries. I kind of just, like, whatever I find. I mean, could be. But, like, there's some, like, little kind of half-ass documentaries, like, on makeup during the Victorian times and, like, kind of stuff that's in it and how it can mess you up. And just weird little shit like that. It's kind of cute. We are from Rob's stream if you haven't noticed. Fair enough. Hey Pickles, how are you? We were just watching some little short documentaries. And they're singing a song in here. Y'all are cute. I can't, I know I say that, but y'all just keep, yeah. So how are you doing, Pickles? Yeah, we were watching, let me screen share it again for a second so you see what we're talking about. Anything on Jack the Ripper or Zodiac? Ooh, Jack, I love the skull. Oh, the shirt. Thank you. I got it at Walmart. I love Walmart. I like, yeah, it's like different historical, like, little things, and it don't last very long. So it's like getting, like, the Cliff Notes version of it. Like, our wildest founding father. He's got, like, little glasses on. Funny. We might sneak another one in. Let me see what we got. The Sweating Plague. It doesn't sound interesting. This I probably don't want to show on my stream only because, like, I know why. What their excuse was to get rid of, to prohibit, cause prohibition for marijuana, and, like, I don't necessarily want to have that conversation on my channel. Oh, here we go. Like hygiene back in the Victorian times, which probably was very strange. You know, weird shit like that. So, I had to stop my stream to deal with unfair companies that think they can do whatever they want. Oh, you pissed off YouTube, huh? Or is it something else? I'll be lurky. Ah, keep it up. Oh, meow. Let's see. I guess we will see what hygiene was like back in Victorian times. Let's do it.
Fiction, we think of the Victorian era, we tend to think of lavish homes, beautiful gowns, and passionate romances. But as we all know, the truth is often straight from the kitchen, smelling too. Victorians may have had a lot of these things, but when it came to hygiene, they were, for lack of a better term, fucking gross.
Fucking gross. I love it.
Places of people who had no indoor plumbing and didn't regularly bathe. Diseases were common, and the hygienic practices meant to cure them were often as bad, if not worse, than the illnesses themselves. Today, we're going to take a look at what hygiene was like in the Victorian era. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History channel and let us know in the comments below what other hygiene-related topics you would like to hear about. Okay, plug your nose. We're now a Victorian.
Wow.
Victorians had to do laundry just like everyone else. They often used more than mere soap to get their clothing clean and fresh. For example, oil and grease stains would be combated by rubbing chalk into the fabric. Grass and blood stains, on the other hand, would be removed with kerosene, while other miscellaneous odors would be dumped in.
Kerosene? Oh boy.
So far, they all sound like life hacks you might find in a modern YouTube video. But when it came to bleaching their clothes, Victorians used a method modern folks probably wouldn't be too keen on. They soaked the clothes in their own urine. Asparagus.
Oh god.
Disgusting, but as it turns out, urine contains ammonia, which is a very
Oh wow, yeah.
Toothbrushes and toothpaste existed at the time and were available to Victorians, but typically only to middle and upper classes. Most working class folks had to get a little bit more creative. Toothpaste, for example, could be made at home using common ingredients that include things like chocolate, soap, cooking powder, and goldfish. Toothbrushes of the era typically had wood handles or had bristles and weren't terribly comfortable to use. Despite this, they were relatively expensive, and those who couldn't afford them had to find alternate ways to clean their teeth. One common method was the use of celery, which was believed to be abrasive enough to clean one's teeth while being chewed. It was better than nothing, but as you probably guessed, it wasn't a medically ideal way to keep one's chomping looking good. Nonetheless, you want to do your best to protect your teeth, and dental care available at the time was, to be kind, utterly terrifying. Many areas didn't even have dentists, which meant if you needed oral care, you would probably have to go to a local barber or blacksmith.
Ooh, it's getting cold in here.
Indoor toilets, also known as water closets, were both convenient and popular. But
Ah.
because they predated the invention of indoor
Sorry, it
plumbing,
was
they had some
cold.
undesirable drawbacks. With no pipes to carry away the waste, it often just dropped into a large cesspool that was located in the building's basement. While this arrangement was more accessible than an
Yeah.
outhouse and less exposed than a chamber pot, the cesspool would eventually fill up. Once that happened, it didn't take too long for the whole house to start smelling, well, like a cesspool. To
Ugh,
combat the stank and
gross.
cottage industry of night soil nets sprung up. These laborers would empty the cesspool and then sell the waste to farmers who needed it to use as fertilizer. They were known as night soil nets because the law of the era restricted the emptying of cesspools to nighttime, as the task was considered too disturbing to be undertaken in broad daylight. You would think something as simple as how to take a bath would be pretty intuitive to most people. You sit in water and wash yourself. But in Victorian times, that wasn't common knowledge. In fact, with regular or at least semi-regular bathing being in the fashion, Victorians were besieged by publishers selling books that taught the uninitiated what to expect from a bath. Much of this fashion was non-scientific. For example, one such book advised the curious and unwashed of Victorian society to avoid bathing within 4 hours of eating a large meal. This rule still exists today, though it's usually applied to swimming after meals rather than bathing. Another tip one might find in these books was to avoid washing their face when they traveled, unless they had means to first purify the water with ammonia or alcohol. So-called rushing baths, which consisted of washing the face in extremely hot and then extremely cold water, were advised for those who were worried about preventing wrinkles. Today, pretty much everyone is obsessed with their hair. Victorian times were much the same, except that modern shampoos are still a ways off. So how did one clean their hair back then? Well, women of the era would typically use eggs. One would crack an egg into their head and then work the yolks into their hair, like with a modern shampoo. The egg would then be washed out with a pitcher of water. Another popular option was vinegar diluted with water. That's gotta smell morning fresh.
Actually, vinegar in your hair actually can get rid of dandruff. I'm just saying.
Hair cleaner. Rum, black tea, and rosemary were all considered normal and effective for hair washing.
That sounds like it might make your hair smell good, actually. This is not good.
But maintaining a youthful and vital look is, to many, equally important. The Victorians were no different. To that end, Paul's vegetable Sicilian hair, first introduced in the 1860s, became a staple of the era's hair care regimens. The product's main benefit was to darken hair in such a way that allowed people to hide the gray. Unfortunately for the people who used it, Paul's hair manure used lead as a bonding agent. Its function was to aid other chemicals in darkening the hair,
Yikes.
but it had the slight side effect of causing lead poisoning. Eventually, the company that manufactured Halls managed to get the lead out, or at least most of it, in the formula, and the product managed to stay on the market well into the 1930s. Most people don't like a bad smell, but in Victorian times, bad smells were considered more than just unpleasant. They were believed to be downright dangerous. The idea that various conditions, including cholera and chlamydia, were spread through pollutants in the unclean air was called the miasma theory, or night air. and it dated back to antiquity. Victorians put a lot of stock in the miasma theory and blamed the poor health pandemic in London's impoverished districts on wicked smells that floated through the streets. Even Florence Nightingale, one of the most famous nurses in history, believed it and thought that clean air would restore health to sick patients.
Well, they're not entirely wrong. Fresh air is good for you. And it's probably the stuff that's making the bad smell that can make you sick.
The poor sanitation that was normal in industrial areas at the time was independently causing both the bad smells and many of the diseases.
Wow.
Victorian
It's not awkward or anything, but okay.
But it was also one of the first times in history that Main Street society tried to address the concerns of feminine hygiene. Indeed, both the
Man, that's an old brand.
earliest versions of the tampon were invented in the late 19th century. These new technologies took some time to become normal and widespread, and in the interim, women of the era got creative. It was discovered that the wood pulp paste used to make bandages typically used to treat the wounds of soldiers at war were also used for menstruation care.
Great stink of 858.
New York, London, or Hong Kong, and they'll tell you that in the heat of the summer, big cities, even modern ones, develop a noxious smell. But the stench that emanated from London in 1858 was something else entirely. It was so invariably heinous that the whole city practically shut down. During the Victorian era, the River Thames used to be the hub of the entire London sewage system. In practice, this meant that most citizens disposed of their waste by simply dumping it into the river. Londoners were not happy, and they raised quite a stink over the foul odors that came from the water. Doctors, in accordance with the aforementioned miasma theory, blamed the stench for causing rampant disease throughout the entire city. It was so horrible that the summer of 1858 would forever be known as the Great Stink. That's a t-shirt waiting to happen. From bad smells to evil spirits, many strange things were blamed for causing diseases in the past. Among the strangest, though, had to be the Victorian-era theory that tuberculosis and its spread was attributable to women's clothing. Doctors of the era theorized that long skirts dragging along the street were picking up the disease, and women who wore them were unwittingly bringing sickness into their home and spreading it to their families. The theory didn't stop at dresses, though. Doctors at the time also believed that the tight corsets women wore were also responsible for tuberculosis on account of the fact that they constricted the lungs. As such, doctors trying to stop the spread of the disease were prone to prescribing looser corsets and shorter skirts. Very fashionable. Despite being socially unacceptable during the Victorian era, escort work was a very common way for the women who lived in London's most impoverished neighborhoods to make a living. Sexually transmitted diseases were extremely common at the time, and without regular access to contraceptives, sex workers often transmitted those STDs to their clients. The clients in turn would then transmit them to their wives and anyone else they might be involved with. Things got so bad that the spread of sexually transmitted diseases was eventually declared a public health hazard.
Yikes.
Laws were passed that allowed escorts to be detained by police and forcibly treated for STDs.
Ouch.
Though it wouldn't be widely marketed until 1914, the mouthwash we know as Listerine was invented by Dr. Jordan Lawrence and chemist turned entrepreneur Jordan Weed Langford in 1879. Victorians were slowly beginning to accept notions of modern hygiene, so Lambert first tried marketing this concoction as a medical antiseptic. For whatever reason, the product was overlooked and failed to turn a profit for its creators. Not wanting to give up easily, Lambert began to suggest additional and often unusual uses for Listerine. Before he finally hit on selling it as a mouthwash, he tried marketing it as everything from a floor cleaner to a cure for dandruff and gonorrhea. So what do you think? Would you have enjoyed living in the Victorian era? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, check out some of these other videos from our weird history.
So what do y'all think? Ah, not what I wanted. No, don't do that. Okay, I'm having issues here. This music was making like people crazy last time. just goes on and on. Music's gonna make me nuts. Anywho, yeah. Good job, Shadow. So, what did you think? Thanks, no problem. Or did you like our song? Your song lasted for like 30 minutes. I really think it would have gone faster if you each were doing like 2 or 3 words instead of just one. Like, yikes. That is so cute, little cat in a box. It doesn't show up on StreamYards. It says Chill W Cat, but like that's probably the reason why I have the chat up so I can see things. Yeah, yeah. That was well. I definitely yeah. Am I hanging out with Tommy tonight? Maybe. Oh shit. Oh fuck. I think I need an assistant. What's he doing? Let me go check Twitter real quick. Eek. Oh, retro franchise. Is that tonight? Shit. And a little set of eyes in there, like. I see. I didn't know. I think he wanted to rotate people out. Are you rotating people, or do I have? I don't want to make it sound like I want to or don't want to. Oh. All right, we'll find out. Oh, that music. Oh, poor Slasher. Yes, that music. I killed it as quick as I could. So. So we'll see. Cause like, are you still rotating people? Because that'll remind me your life night. I forgot. Yeah, I'm not like a lot of super fun on stream. I'll wait for a response. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of holding on time. I'm tired. Oh my god. I feel like I'm half brain dead as it is. Psychedelics. I stepped away for a second to grab some food. No, it's 9 Eastern time. So it'd be 8 p.m. my time. I don't know if I'll survive on 3.5 hours of sleep. Like, once the time's out, I'm out, usually. That's if I can get to sleep. Sometimes I end up so tired I can't sleep, and it's a mess. I don't know. So Flash is way better on those kind of things than me. Oh no, it's okay because I probably should ask. More if I do another song in the future, it's gonna be living on prayer. Oh boy. Okay. I'm gonna go chill with Mr. High and talk Rush at 7. I don't know who Mr. Hyde is. At least I don't think I do. Well, I'll be dropping links in here after I get started. I'll rotate folks. This will be an odd stream for me as I've never done an open format. Okay. I was afraid that if I didn't show that you. Alright, so they're gonna be rotating people out, so like if I don't show, it's not gonna like fuck up anything or make a difference. I don't think. Because there's one how long I kind of sit here, my feet start to puff up, and it's not sexy. Okay. So I can show up if I want to, but it's not the end of the world. Okay. He has cool people. Well, I'm sure he's cool. I just don't know who it is. So I suppose you could like Twitter me a link to like the channel, and I can go like check it out when it's on if I'm awake. So kind of like since it's like almost 5, kind of like go like hang in there for the long haul until it's like a normal bedtime, normal-ish, and then try to sleep. Because if I go to sleep now, I'll probably wake up at like 1 a.m. and then I guess it'll be like a 1 a.m. stream, or I just don't know what I'll do. I find myself window shopping a lot. My poor broke ass is like window shopping and stuff, and I'm just like, but I am super excited. On my eBay store, I got 2 sales, which is super exciting because like nobody ever buys shit from me. But I'm super excited. Chuck me a wrench and I'll post it. Oh, I think I will have to open YouTube. Oh wait. Add moderator. Okay. Ta-da! Anywho, oh, my brain's tired. Sorry. I was gonna say something. If you just get tired, your brain just like half falls asleep. That's not where I'm at.
Yeah,
Yay! Ugh. I'm just kind of meh. Oh, it's been a long time since I did a stream at like 1 in the morning. I mean, I've been on Snow Dubs and it's gone for hours, like way into like 2, 3 a.m., you know, but like, especially like my own live stream that late at night. I haven't done that in a long time. Actually, I need to go to the store and get more juice, actually. Okay, cool. Look at this real quick. Oh, I like his avatar. That's dapper as fuck. Cool. Uh, so he's a singer, I guess. Okay. How much old is this? Oh, okay. Videos. Friday night. when I came out as a spirit medium. Okay. Speech then. That's a cool thumbnail. Talking about Buffy. Not bad. Oh, okay. Right on. Pop culture and other topics. That works. There's getting some static going on. Like, I don't like doing that. Yeah, if I sometimes wave my hand, the static goes away for a while. It's weird. Like, it's gotta be focused a certain way, and if it loses it, it just gets kind of. So. Oh, the bandana's showing up now. Anyways, but I think I need to hop off here because I feel like, oh. But it was super awesome hanging out with y'all, and I hope you like the little shows and stuff. So I think they were kind of cool. It's kind of like a humorous way of looking at history, which makes it a little less boring. So I will try to remember to check out that stream later. All you and Tommy's stream. Like I probably won't be on. He's doing that thing again. See? Like it's gotta like focus on something to help it not do that. I don't know how to fix that. Maybe it's in the center. Maybe? No. There he goes. Oh well. It's still the easiest way I've ever used this green screen. Because any other program I've ever used, I couldn't get it to work right. So I can't complain too much. Ooh, hugs, Sith Lord. And hugs to all of you. Y'all have been super awesome. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. And we didn't get shut down. Yay! Rush stream. Righto. So, the rush stream. I might visit that and say hi to people in the chat and Tommy's because I don't think we'll be on camera tonight. I don't know. I mean, not like I super have to. Yeah, stay awesome stuff. Love y'all. And I will talk to y'all later. Mwah.